Okay, so today I'm going to be looking at the Fusion Bonsai Pollarded Willow. I've been sat here in the pond since I last looked at it in May, so I'm going to get them out and drain for a bit and then take a look. Okay, so it seems for the most part the extra cuttings that I put in have taken. They're not going to fill in all of these gaps, but they will help fill in some and thicken up the trunk some. At the end of the day, this is going to be a pollarded willow, and they don't come much more gnarlier than that, so I don't mind if this ends up looking a sort of swollen, knobbly, gnarly old trunk. So I think the first thing I'm going to have to do is clean out some of this debris and do a partial defoliation, so that when I tie these in I'm not actually trapping any of the leaves. It's not going to help the tree if they're tied on the inside, and they're just an area where rotten disease can get in. So it's just going to be a question of well, for the most part some of these don't need much defoliation anyway, so that's perfect. Possibly some of these little ones, whether that will survive, probably. So I'm going to do that up to the level of the top of the form, and then I can start tying some of these in, and we'll come back and see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm pulling these into position, as you can see, and I want these to come up and under to fill in some of these gaps here. So we just start by pulling it into position there, and just tighten up. So it's just a question of pull and tighten, pull and tighten. Now, it may take quite a while for the trees to fill in all these gaps and finally fuse together, but that's fine. As I say, it's going to be quite a gnarly looking thing, but I don't mind that in a pollarded willow. I think that's one of their great charms. So it's just a question of filling in the gaps. Now there will come a point when it becomes so difficult to get your wire in and out as the gaps fill in that you'll just have to give up. But don't want to go in. Go on, that's it. So again, just tie them through. I had that then. I was just taking a loop, pull it in, trying to catch the form as I go, which I'd missed. So it's very fiddly, but quite therapeutic. There we go, got it. You don't have to fully tighten these. Obviously the tighter they are, the sooner the trees will fuse though. So where I can, trying to tuck the wire in behind. So I'll carry on doing that. And we'll come back and look at it when I'm done. Beginning to tame it a bit now. I have cheated somewhat in that I have used 3 wires to just tie the trunk in. That's closed in a lot of the gaps. Each of these puts on 1/4 of an inch growth next year. That will pretty much fill in. Now, where I have had some problem is where the tree leans over in this direction. I've got a lot of growth, and these cuttings have grown really well. And on this side, I didn't get the growth. I had only a few shoots. It's just not grown as vigorously, so I'm beginning to tie some of these side pieces in and over and round. They will help to fatten up the underside of this sort of bulge, the kind of bulge that an old Pollarded willow gets. I've seen some of them that look almost like wine goblets around here when I take Coop out for his walks. There are some that are I'll try and get a photo, perhaps append it to this video or the next one, where there's a tree at the road, and it must be about 18 inches across at the base and easily 5 to 6 feet across at the top. That's about 6 feet tall at the sort of top of the pollarded piece at its trunk. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing that for now. Okay, so it looks a bit of a mess. Looks very sorry for itself. But I think that come the autumn, some of these pieces can be trimmed off and tied in again. It will begin to take on some shape. Then next year I think I will just allow it to grow completely freely with very little work done to it, if any, and we'll see what happens. I'm hoping, having defoliated this area, I will get some shoots from this area, and I am just gonna do that. Just gonna give it a bit of a haircut to promote some back budding. That will now go back in the pond for the rest of the season, and we'll come back and look at it perhaps in the autumn, perhaps in the spring, and we'll see how it looks. As for this one, I'm thinking I'm going to have to do a complete defoliation, so I may actually just I think I'm running out of time for working on this today, so I'm going to put this back in the pond as it is, and leave it until it's lost its leaves in the autumn before I tie that in. So that's really it. I hope I haven't overworked this tree. That hopefully it'll look nice and gnarled and a proper ugly old pollarded willow in 3 or 4 years' time. Anyway, thank you for watching. Take care.